sweet old auntie. Everybody needs.
With a whoop whoop and a boop boop boop.
Auntie that
You can't make this up.
Now you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
everybody needs. Sweet old auntie.
So why even bother?
Aunties and lies, sweet old auntie. Aunties and ways. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Well, hi everybody, and this is Auntie, and y'all, I am obsessed with this daggone story. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight as we review another part of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? Y'all, I have just been like obsessed with this story. We have already, if you haven't been here, maybe you at work or whatever, we've already covered basically all of the videos that your auntie could stand. After a while, I just got kind of tired of the shenanigans and all that with Miss Tessa. But I did have an opportunity to get something to eat and an opportunity to kind of back away from it for a while. And then I went back and made a decision that I would go and look at it a little bit more. And so she did an exclusive TikTok on an exclusive interview on TikTok that I wanted to cover. And I wanted to cover it with you all. So I'm going to bring up a TikTok again, and we're going to listen to her as she covers some of the questions that have been asked to her by the viewers. And I found it very interesting. And I figured the night crew would love to join us as well. So welcome. I just want to say a special thank you to Raydella for her diligence in being here and moderating. I truly appreciate it. We have spent some serious hours out here. And so I just really, really want to take the opportunity to personally thank Raydella for hanging in there, making sure that the chat is nice and safe for everybody, especially since we had a lot of company. Okay. In our first video, we had over 3,000 people in our live chat on the first video, and Raydella moderated 1,800 in the second one. So kudos to Raydella. Hugs and kisses. Thank you so much for your commitment to the Auntie's Advice family. Hey Beverly, she says, love you, Auntie. This situation is a soap opera. Absolutely. And I had to get off at a certain point, but now we're back on. I'm also going to be showing the TikTok of the ex-wife, or at least the first wife, or the third wife, or I don't know. Hey Randy, thank you. This story is crazy. It reminds me of a Lifetime movie. It is a Lifetime movie, and then we've got to remember too that Lifetime movies are based on real information and people's real lives. So without further ado, let me bring it up. Okay. Hoping everybody that has been with me all day had an opportunity to refresh yourselves.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Let me try to change this so better picture. Ooh, okay, these are starting fast. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, you grew your
Or good
channel
afternoon if you're
to
on the
over
East
1 million
Coast.
followers, girl. What do you think?
Thank you for the belated birthday wish. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you. I watched church extra early. Awesome. Thanks. God has some. Thank you. I pray that he does have something big for me. Thank you for the prayers too. I do appreciate it.
Let's get into it, bro.
There is a lot of people coming in, so welcome to everyone. I do have some moderators. They are coming in, so I did find some good moderators. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, y'all. Hello.
Thank God for the moderators.
Hi, California. So I know a lot of people are just joining in. So welcome.
Welcome.
I am Ressa Tessa. Thank you guys for watching that 50-part playlist.
Wow.
I know it was long, so I just want to get that out first and foremost. Thank you guys for watching it, and thank you sincerely for the words of encouragement, because this has been it's been a bit overwhelming, I will be honest, but I appreciate it.
Okay.
Hi, I'm not done. Okay, you're going to watch it today. If you haven't watched it and you do have some questions, I do have some moderators in here who may be able to answer the question, or they may just tell you, hey, she covers that in the video. So I just want to put that out there. So I will tell you guys, just from what I see on my screen, these are coming in really, really rapidly.
Welcome
so I'm going to do my best
Welcome
to answer questions that you guys have. Hi, West Africa. I did see that. I'm going to do my best, but please bear with me. It's just one of me, and it's a lot of.
Take the opportunity to welcome distinctively, let me make sure, Dree to the membership. Welcome, boo.
You. So just bear with me. So there's a few things I wanted to say just off the top that I've been seeing the comments. I've seen some of the lives that people have had. I've seen a lot of the Stitch videos. So I want to just take a moment to address two things. First and foremost, I don't know if this was made clear in the video series. Guys, I do not know what was going on with the knee situation. My belief is that the knee is a symptom of something else. I tried to encourage, hey, go to the doctor. I will go with you. I will go with you. But because of the weight loss, I felt like the knee situation was a symptom of something bigger. It was never confirmed what it was, because he got kicked out June of 2021. Once he was kicked out, I did not care anymore or question what's going on with the health. So I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. I know I put in the last video, look, God has kept me. God has protected me. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know what is true and what is not true, because after June of 2021, there was no further discussions on health and anything like that. So I just want to put that in there. So yeah. And certain things I'm probably not going to address just because it's not for me to address. And I hope y'all understand that. It ain't for me to address because it's not my health situation. Okay. Another thing that I feel like it's only fair also to address. I am aware that his information was put out there. From what I have gathered, he was exposed. It started off with one particular creator. I'm not going to name that creator just because I'm not trying to create more drama. I did not know that his information was going to be released. It would have been good if I had been given a heads up, because I would have simply asked, could you hold off for about 24 to 48 hours so I could get certain things in place? But that didn't happen. It's out there. I am aware it's out there. And I understand the curiosity, but my goal was to try to keep as much of this story, as much as I could, keep it confidential in terms of people's private life. I tried, but I am aware that the face and the image has been plastered everywhere. But no, I was not made aware ahead of time that it was going to be released. And like I said, if I could have, I would have respectfully have asked that person, could you hold off? Because I know the attention is going to be perceived as antagonizing to that individual. And I did not want to antagonize.
So why didn't you think about that at first?
I hope y'all can understand what I'm saying.
No, I don't.
Okay. Am I safe? I am safe.
Did she not know that you were going to blow up?
Taking some additional steps since
exactly
certain things were released, but yes. Okay. So if you're coming in and you're asking about the knee, I only know the knee was the first symptom that something was wrong. But again, once he was kicked out at June of 2021, I did not ask.
I'm confused.
Yes, I am safe in more ways than one. Again, certain things I'm not going to directly address because it's not for me to address. But as for me and my body, I'm good. I just need to lose some weight, lose these stomachs and this chin. That's the most health thing I need to work on, is lose some weight. So
did she not know?
Yes, I did enjoy my
blasting like this with such a salacious story.
Oh, okay. Wow, these are coming in fast.
I don't get it.
I do have moderators. I may need to get some more, and I'm going to have to kind of work on the screen to see what. Someone asked, what was the wedding like? It was at a courthouse. There was no wedding, or excuse me, there was no ceremony. It was at a courthouse. Do you think it's possible that he got those kids' shoes to make you think he had? So in regards to the kids' shoes, and what they're talking about has to do with a little girl named Egypt. I never verified who Egypt is. I do know that the shoes were sent to someone in St. Louis. I have a theory on what it is, and I really just think it was another lie. And I honestly think it has to do with another female that he was probably talking to or texting inappropriately. Is actually what I think it is. I found out that Egypt is not a niece at all, no relation at all.
What? Okay, so let's find out why. Okay, so that was on her.
Hi. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Let me try to change this. So
Yes, she is, Brianna. I agree. I agree.
Ooh, okay. Yes. Good morning, everybody.
So did we go
Or good
back
afternoon
for
if
some
you're on the East
reason?
Coast.
Okay,
Or
so let's go forward.
my engagement ring. Yeah, my engagement ring did not actually come from the jeweler at Mall of Georgia. I found out it came from Amazon. So yes. And so when you see people ask what happened to the ring, I ended up losing it. I couldn't pawn it because it was only $34.99. So yeah. My moderators are in here. Yeah. Did he? Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Me
think you
trying
have
to just
regret
see
now.
stuff is the only reason why y'all didn't go to
If
London.
you're
No, the
looking at
reason
it,
why we didn't go to London was because there was a bold-faced lie and he was never planning to take me to London. It had nothing
if
to do
you
with the
look at it
passports.
now, y'all,
It
it's
was just
like she
another lie.
backtracking off
Have I
of
dated since?
and
No.
the reality of how big this story has turned into
Did you ever
is
find out
starting
what
to
really
hit on
happened to
your
his knee?
face.
No. Would you ever get into production allowing a company? So that's a very fair question. Is it Simone? Samone. I've gotten a lot of emails. I have not had the chance to answer all of them. I will. So if you have emailed me, you didn't get a response, please, again, my inbox is crazy, but I will make a point to answer each email, even if it is a simple thank you. I will. Why didn't you block him on Facebook? I don't have Facebook and he's always been blocked. However, it is fair to note that he has had multiple Facebook accounts. So when I would block one, another one would pop up. So eventually I just deactivated my own Facebook. What happened to his studio apartment? Okay, so with the studio apartment, here's what I can tell you. My understanding is that when he moved in with me, he moved out of it, giving it up. Once he moved in, I have no idea what happened to that studio apartment. Has he tried to contact me? Not since all of this. The last time he tried to contact me directly was December of 2021. He liked so this is how I found out that he had another Facebook page. He liked a Facebook post from February of 2020. He liked it last year, 2023. And the name on his Facebook page was a completely different Facebook page than what I had initially blocked. So I had to block it again. Okay, so who was Shantae? Shantae was completely made up. The sister in Douglasville, I eventually found out she was completely made up. There's absolutely no evidence that she ever existed.
What?
Has his family okay, I'm sorry. I think it said, has his family contacted me since? I don't know if you mean since all of this. No. I have never spoken to his twin, but the last time I spoke to the older brother was again in this story that I told you guys. We have not spoken since. Once only thing that he requested was for me to send him the photo album of pictures if they were never picked up, which they weren't. So he said, look, I don't have any room or I don't have the right to ask you for anything, but please, if you have it in your heart, please send me the photo album. And I did. After that, he wished me well, and I was waiting to get my divorce decree. So we have not spoken since. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for watching. Seriously. This was definitely, okay. So also I see that about the realtor friend. There were two Scotts. One Scott was the one who actually represented us, showing us about 20 different houses. He's real. The Scott who was the friend that he talked to on the phone was completely made up.
Oh, what?
No evidence that I ever found that he existed. Okay, so if Netflix calls, I will answer the phone. I ain't crazy. Thank you, Paris Milan. Did I ever find out what was making him sick? No. I have had different theories. On one hand, I thought maybe it could have been an autoimmune disease. I also thought maybe it was the C word because both of his parents passed away from it, but nothing was ever confirmed. Once he was out the house in June of 2021, it's above me now. Not to be funny, but that was my attitude. It's above me now. Okay.
And that money.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's a lot. My screen is just moving. So do I plan on dating again? Probably need to, I need to heal. So probably not anytime soon. Okay, I don't know how to slow it down. So if there are pinned comments, I don't see them on the screen. So I'm trying to hold the screen and then move it with my finger. So that's what I'm trying to do. Why didn't the new job? You said, why didn't the new job do their research with the reals? I don't understand that question. I don't know whose job you're talking about. Are you talking about mine? Because they wouldn't do research on my spouse if I'm the one that's working.
What do y'all think about this?
So another thing I need to address, the social. I saw this in a lot of comments. So please know that when I filed for divorce and I represented myself pro se, I do have some attorney friends, and I've talked about one in particular, Tracy Tripp, and I reached out to another. Even though the social on our marriage license was not accurate, that was not grounds in the state of Georgia to get an annulment. I had to get a divorce. I reached out to an attorney whose words to me were, is his name correct? Is his date of birth correct? Yes. The only thing that was incorrect at the time of this phone call was the first 3 numbers on the social.
What?
It was not grounds for an annulment in the state of Georgia.
God dang.
So that's why I had to get a divorce.
Georgia locked your ass in. So then what was that? I mean, could that not be anything?
How did he know how to do all this? He's done it before. It very much is his MO. He's done it before. Every question that I had, there was either a piece of paper or some fictitious email ready to kind of show some sort of proof.
And you know what the sad part about this? The sad part about this is he's not going to stop. And there are going to be other women who are going to try to save him. They're going to jump in as Captain Saberho, and they're going to still date him. This is not, unfortunately, in the world that we live in now, this is not going to be enough to damage him.
I don't know what made him like this.
It's not.
Had you not, there was a question there that I wish I saw. I think
absolutely, it's Simone.
Write it again. You said something about, had I not talked to the ex-wife, would I still be there? If that's correct, if you could just try to do that one more time.
Just answer it the way it is.
One more time. I want to see if that is what you actually asked.
Just answer that question.
I watched all 50 parts. Thank you guys. If you watched all 50 parts, thank you. Do I feel he has a mental illness? Truth, yes, I do. My personal belief, I do.
Wow.
What are you asking about the polygraph? So if you're asking questions, everyone, if you're just coming in, first of all, for coming in, but if you're asking questions on what do I think made him sick? Why do I think he lost all this weight? Please allow me to once again address that and address it for the last time. I have no idea what made him sick. I have no idea what caused his need to start messing up. He said that it was football. He's never played football. I don't know if that was made clear or not. He has never played football. So if you're thinking, oh, maybe he hurt his knee in football, no. But I have no idea what caused the knee injury. I have no idea what was making him sick because he never went to the doctor.
So he never played arena football? I know you lying. He never played it. What? Did I miss that part? Because I got impatient with her ass. I may have. Y'all know I'm old.
While we were together. Once he moved out of the house, got kicked out, however you want to put it, it was no longer my concern. My concern was only me and my health.
But her concern was her for a very long time. And I hate to say that, y'all, but it was. She was concerned about herself for a very long time.
And I am fine. I want to make that very, very clear because I understand and I've seen some of the emails just out of concern. I am healthy with the exception of I need to lose weight. I just want to put that out there. How did he pay the rent?
And get a new wig. I think this wig is tired. I think the wig has been through a lot. As a wig wearer myself, sometimes they get a little tired and weary. It really depends. I think that this wig is not wigging anymore. I think in the front of it, it's looking more headbandish. It's definitely not blending into anything. It doesn't have any edges. It yeah, I think getting the weight off and up in a wig. Now, rumor has it that, you know, she has made over $80,000 off of her videos, and I am praying that she makes an investment. And, you know, here's the thing, you know, I've been on YouTube for a while, and, you know, you build over time, you build your subscribers, you build your family, you know, you build. When you get that instant 1.5 million, she now has to do something to sustain it. And that is one of the reasons why a lot of content creators are a little bit leery about going over to TikTok, because TikTok is candy while YouTube is the food. And I don't know what she's going to do or feel like she has to do in order to maintain the viewership. But after this story is gone, because we all know that the news cycle moves very quick, what is she going to do? Now your whole business is out there. Your coworkers know about it. Potential employers know about it. Like, you've gone viral. I'm just saying. That 80K is not going to last long. Use it wisely. Because I don't know what she's going to do after this is a non-factor. Because with the news cycle, it will be a non-factor. She better wear this out. That's all I'm saying. Let's go, y'all.
He did have a job when we first met in March of 2020. Okay. So his story was that he was with the condiment company for 6 to 7 years. We now know that that's not true. However, he started working with that company just before he met me. Before that is where I saw later on that he had been collecting unemployment. Yeah. So from March until about April of 2021, he was working, as far as I could see and tell, he was working at the condiment company. April is when he suddenly was saying, I'm not happy there, I want to leave. And later on, after he had already left the house, is when I found paperwork that basically said he had been fired. Know that. So in terms of how he was paying the bills, he had a job. He had a job. Did I address Jen? Oh, Jesus, I can't talk today. JNA4. Yes, I did address it. I wasn't really happy about it, and that's all I'm gonna say. The book bag is a bag that he had left accidentally when he left.
Thank you so much, A and Simone, for the $9.99 super chat. She said, hey, Auntie, thank you for covering this. As much as I sigh a lot of her story, I do think a lot of lessons can be learned from this situation. She definitely is milking this viral moment, though. Absolutely, she is. Absolutely, she is. Because everybody is curious about what has happened, what is happening in this story. But eventually, thank you so much, A and Simone, for your support, boo. Love you. Thank you.
My house, and inside of the book bag was a whole bunch of evidence. Let's just keep it real. It was a bunch of evidence. That's where I saw the pay stubs, the weekend jail receipts, the copy of the driver's license that showed the Douglasville address and one that showed an Atlanta address. The address that was on the Atlanta driver's license, when I did a Google search on it, it was the cemetery that he had taken me to show me where his grandparents were buried. Did the twin play football? No. As far as I know, he did not. I know very little about the twin. I've never met the twin. I've never talked to the twin. And respectfully, I would like to ask, again, this is just a request, so please spread the word on this. I am requesting that as much as possible, leave the innocent people out of this.
Too late.
There was a reason I tried to be very careful.
And that's why we're going to be listening to the first wife, because she talked about what the first wife had said. Now the first wife felt compelled to have to come out and address it. Also, the son addressed it, but the nature of his conversation and his video is too much for YouTube, and I won't be playing it. But we will be shortly after she finishes with her exclusive interview. We will be looking at what the first to say
about not using names. So yes, there is a twin. The twin is innocent. Let him live his life, please, please. Did the ex-wife ever explain what happened to her? She did, but out of respect for her, it's not my story to tell. And so
you already told her story. This girl is, I don't know. What?
Was he going? Was he? Oh, I just saw it. I'm sorry. Y'all, again, just bear with me. Was he going to weekend jail when we were together? No. He was leaving the house every day at 6:15. He was coming home every day between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. And he was home every weekend taking me to houses and car dealerships. So no, he was not going to jail. That had happened way before me. Who was the executive assistant? Shelly, the executive assistant was made up. He pretended to be his own executive assistant on the phone with my doctor, and he pretended to be his own executive assistant through text messages with me.
Bitch, you look.
David does not exist.
So you talking about David?
Again,
What
I
about
found that out
Chris?
later on. David does not exist. If
What about
once I
Chris?
found out that he was basically a temp and a forklift loader, there was no David.
That's why his pants ain't working in the building, because they said, what the fuck is a
This
forklift
is a bit
driver doing
overwhelming.
here after hours?
Did I ever talk to Latoya or Latanya? And I'm not sure exactly what her name is, so the answer is no. Where was he going when he got fired and was leaving the house every day to work? Lisa Spooner. I found out later on, and I did address this in the videos, for some of the days he was going to Augusta. I found that out. He had been to Augusta about 5 times. So when I thought he was at work, he was actually...
What was in Augusta? The other woman?
That is true. Hey, Mrs. Porter.
What the fuck?
No, he did not have health care. When we got married, he wanted me to add him to my health insurance. And I was going to, because technically that would have been considered, I think it's called a life event, where if you get married, divorced, have a baby, adoption, even if you're outside of open enrollment, you can add him. So I was going to, but no, he claimed he had health insurance, and I found out later he did not. Have I talked to Amber since the gas?
What the hell? Thank you so much, Tanya Lewis, for the $19.99 super chat. Is this story real? Yes, Tanya, this story is real. She found a way to... I'm changing my profession. No, the world needs people like you. No, the world needs people like you who are female, Black-owned businesses doing electric. I mean, you have a whole company, okay? And we need people like you. So don't quit your profession, okay? You got a whole business. Girl, no. Thank you so much, boo. Tell the wife I said, hey, I love her. I saw her earlier, but I was on such a rampage, I didn't get a chance to say hi. Please tell the wife I said, hey.
Station, yes. Amber had reached out to me maybe it was a few months or maybe close to a year later. She had reached out to me, and she was really reaching out to see if we were possibly in the market for a house. And I explained to her, I said, we split up. And so that's when she said, hey, if you were ever in the market for a house, and for the record, if I was ever buying a house, I would absolutely call Amber. Absolutely. No question about it. I would call Amber. Hey guys, if you could do me a favor, those of you who've been in here since I started, if you see people asking about the knee and the medical stuff, please do me a favor and just respond to them, because there's so many questions about the knee, and I feel like I definitely addressed that a lot. Thank you.
Tell him to come back for the replay. You don't ask your people.
What was on his criminal record?
What the hell is going on?
His criminal record had suspended registration, suspended driver's license, criminal trespassing, and impersonating an officer.
Get the fuck out.
So that's what was on there.
When did she find that out? Are you kidding me? Impersonating a police officer?
No, he has not reached out to me. He shouldn't reach out to me, because that whole either reaching out to me directly or indirectly will get a restraining order. Who is Shantae? Shantae does not exist.
What do you mean it's going to get a restraining order? You mean
have you forgiven him?
Is she going to file one against him, or has she filed one?
No. Ain't no point in me lying. No.
Yeah, because you're not the Christian that you...
Moderators, if you see, they're trying to tell me that he's in the live. So if you see something about him being in the live, remove him immediately. Please.
He probably write it up.
Are you still in contact with the pastor and his wife? No. We were Facebook friends before I deactivated Facebook. They've wished me all the best, but no, I'm not. I think that they kind of were like, oh, Jesus, we needed to perform an exorcism. So no, I have not been in contact with them, but I'm sure that I'm sure that they wish me all the best.
Who is they?
Let's see.
Let's go to the next.
Do you feel like he might have had another mental issue? Yes, I do. What am I doing to heal? I was in therapy for a while. I didn't really like the therapist, so I'm looking for a new one. And I am journaling, which is helpful.
That ain't the journaling.
Again, for me, it's
the
very
video
helpful.
Recording ain't none of that help you
I
before.
do need a vacation,
You
and
need to
yes, I
hurry
will
up
take a
and find
break
you a therapist
because this
because you
was
got
a
some
lot.
mental stuff
No,
that you
Egypt
want
is
to
not.
do.
Excuse me. I have not found any evidence that Egypt is real. Egypt, the little girl I was talking about, I haven't found any evidence that she's real. Let me choose my words
Oh, this
carefully.
motherfucker just walking around making up names.
I am considering a book. I do still have the voice.
Did he get a chance to have invisible friends when he was a kid? Y'all know how y'all kids had like, little invisible friends and playmates that they used to play with. Did they stop him from doing that? Oh, good. That's why he out here in these damn streets making up individual. Like, what the fuck?
The voice recordings. I saved the voice recordings because, and I didn't talk about this in the videos, but at one point I myself got a bit paranoid and was eerily concerned. Is it possible for your spouse to get life insurance on you without your knowledge? And I had looked that up on Google. Apparently it's not, but I did keep the voice audios. And there was a person in my life who knew that they existed just in case something happened to me. A friend of mine who I confidently told, I have these audio diaries. If anything ever happens, this is where they are located on my phone.
But wait a minute.
Okay,
Hold
so
on.
the
Let me
2000
pause real quick. She never indicated that he was violent. She and her mother are the ones that indicated that she could be. So I don't know why or where she's coming from, unless I've missed some fucking videos and y'all let me know. Y'all auntie on point. She's the only one that's made a threat. She's the one that came out and said that, she went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and she was flicking out and she was looking for, like, that was her. That wasn't him. And I've never heard her say that he had a tendency to be that way. So I'm confused why she would be going in this direction. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong, because maybe I could be wrong. And I could be dead ass wrong when I'm wrong too. Thank you so much, Charlotte. Hey, boo, for the $10 super chat. Auntie, this is crazy. Real. I love you, Auntie, and your content. You're a blessing. Love you too, Miss Charlotte. Love you too, boo. That was in tape 36. Okay, so I missed that. Because I got tired of it, didn't I, y'all? I got tired of the fool-la-la and the shenanigans.
Dollars. And what the people, for those of you who did not watch the series, or you're just like, what are you talking about? There was a point when he called me while I was at work and asked me if I would be okay with him lending his ex-wife $2,000 for the stepdaughter's funeral.
You a lie. You a lie. That is not what the fuck you said. That ain't true. Ressa, that ain't true. What you said was, see, you said that the son called him. Don't put that on the ex-wife. See, you get your stories together. At no time did you ever say that ex-wife asked you for $2,000. Because if she did, you wouldn't have asked her, how's her daughter doing? If you had talked, get this together. Don't mess up this woman's reputation and got this, hold on. Okay, I got to calm down. Don't sit out here and make that kind of mistake on the mother. The mother never talked to you prior to you calling her about this bullshit. But now you talking about the ex-wife asked you for money. That is not what you said. You said that the son called you and asked, or called your husband and asked. And that conversation never took place. So why you will repeat something like that and put it on the ex-wife? I don't understand that. People have been out here commending her of that she remembers and recall that right. Now, I ain't the ex-wife friend enough for like that, but I done took offense to that because that is not what you said. Nah. That's a whole ass lie. That's a lie right there.
My answer was absolutely, whatever we can do to help. The truth is, stepdaughter never died. So that was one of those phone calls that was simply part of the lie that the stepdaughter died. He was not actually giving out $2,000. As far as I know, we did not have a joint account. So as far as I know, he did not give $2,000 to anyone. I think it was just part of keeping the lie going. What do you mean I don't know how to set a new goal. Was he still paying the rent when he worked at Apple? So keep in mind, when I say he worked at Apple, I do quotations because he's saying it was Apple. I knew it was not Apple. Yes, he was still paying the bills when he worked there.
You talking about the grocery store?
And when I say there, Apple, because I know it wasn't Apple. Yes, it's monetized. Was he physically abusive? That's a very good question. He was not physically abusive. What he would do was to try to use his size to intimidate because he was, 6'3", 6'4", and was well over 250 pounds. So we have had arguments where at one time he did punch a hole in the wall in the townhouse. When that happened, I bursted out laughing, which then scared him because I clearly was like, I double dog dare you to put your hands on me. He's never put his hands on me, but I have seen him angry to put a hole in the wall.
So why she just saying that?
What happened to the Nissan? I sold it.
You sold the
couldn't
old
afford it. Simply put, I could not afford it.
You knew that when you got that motherfucker. That's why you was trying to.
Yeah, when it comes to money, and I apologize because I thought that I had made this clear, but if I didn't, that's on me. So I need to work on being better at communication. There was no checking account with Chase Bank. There was no savings account with Chase Bank. There was no savings with US Bank. There was no offshore account. The only money that he had was money coming in from his job. There was no arena football. I found out from his brother, he ain't never so much as thrown a football. So he never played football. He never went to California. He never went to San Diego State. None of it was true. None of it.
It was all copies and paperwork and snapshots from off of Google. Did y'all know that? I may not have
Thank you.
allowed you all to see that, but later on we found out that all of the stuff that the receipts and the bank accounts and all of that he had presented to her was off of Google, bitch. They was pictures. So when he was logging onto an account, he was going through his camera roll. None of that stuff ever existed. And which is why I asked the question. Did you log on to the accounts? Did you scroll down and look at the bank statements? Did you click to see what was pending? What was credit? What was debits? Yes, Keith, stock photos. None of it. None of it was real. But desperation will make you see stuff, y'all, that's not there. It's amazing what the mind can imagine. The mind can imagine anything. You can make stuff that is not real appear real, which is what they call fear. False evidence appearing real. She had a fear of not being married, ever having a family. She had a fear of being alone, of having to carry the load by herself continuously for the rest of her fucking life. And that same motivating fear that made her stay with him and move in with this month, 2 weeks after she met him, is the same fear that motivated him. He produced the false evidence and made it appear real. He fed her fears, her insecurities. You gotta be whole when you go into relationships. You can't go into a relationship with a 50-50 mentality. You have to go into a relationship 100% of who you are. As I said in the earlier videos, y'all, I never heard her say she was contributing a damn thing. Like nothing. Like straight up nothing. It was all about what he had in his bank account. It was never about what was in hers. It wasn't until videos 28, something like that, up in the 30s, that she even disclosed what was in her account. But she allowed fear and low self-esteem to cause her to accept something that just was not real. Y'all, facts are facts. Facts don't lie. Facts don't need to be justified or explained. They are what they are. But your imagination and your false hopes will always get you wrapped up in a situation that you don't even want to be in or never thought you would. You gotta work on yourself. And I don't care how old you are or how together a person may appear. Everybody's working on something. What may be a big deal to you may be something small to someone else, and vice versa. But you got to work on yourself. And she didn't do the work. And then she operated, in my opinion, in a bunch of deceit. She wasn't forthcoming with her family about the truth or anything. Nothing. And so here it is, you spent this time with this man who would not have brought you anything or did not bring you anything but heartbreak. And then you lose something that is most precious, a baby, because you didn't walk away. You didn't discipline yourself. You got with him on March 7th and you miscarried in July. Where you could have been using that time to build yourself up and really meeting a man who was worth his salt in the earth. You go out and you get an ultimate and you got to voluntarily repossess it. Y'all learn from this. If you don't do anything else, please learn from this. The Bible says, be anxious for nothing. Don't be anxious for a man or a partner or someone believing that someone is going to come in and do the work for you. Only you can do the work on you. Men like this prey on women like her. Don't be prey to anybody. Don't be somebody's prey.
I wasn't sure if I made it clear, but how do you feel about people finding him? So I had addressed that earlier, but I know a lot of people weren't in here. So I say this. Do you feel like he might have had another mental issue? Yes, I do. What am I doing to heal? I was in therapy for a while.
Okay, for some reason it
You're
went
just like,
back.
what are you talking about? There was a point when he called me while I was at work and asked me if I would be okay with him lending.
Okay, so for
What
some
he
reason,
would do
so what?
was to try to
we
use
need to go to another video.
stack of red flags. It was more than a stack. If we're going, let's put some respect on the red flags. It was the parade of nations that you see at the Olympics. So, Kelly, good question. Kelly, I saved enough money to be able that I talk about when I moved, I got rid of everything. So I was literally able to move and start over. So I had done pretty good in the savings. But yeah, I had done pretty good in the savings. When am I coming to London? Trust me, I'm going to do everything I can to go to London because again, it's always been something I've wanted to do, London and Paris. So, did he ever drink? No, he was a very, very light drinker. Why did I take a polygraph test for my new job? My new job required a polygraph test. Tiffany, I think that's how you spell you say your name. I don't know if it was on Terra Boulevard, but yes, at one point he did live out in Clayton County. What about the refusal to show evidence? No, he was never physically abusive. The refusal to show the evidence to the realtors, and really, I can only use Scott as an example. The part that I don't know if it's resonating with people, and by the way, if you're in this live and you are a realtor or you work in real estate, I would appreciate, your feedback. I do understand after seeing the comments that what should have happened is that proof of funds and his pre-approval letter should have been shown to the realtor before we ever saw a house. I believe that because it was COVID and certain agents were trying to get a sale, I believe that's why we saw houses before the due diligence of, hey, let me get your paperwork was done. But again, I believed what I saw. Whether it was smart, dumb, I accept that. But I believed what I saw, which is I saw this man say, I have the money to buy this house in cash. And I saw a professional say, okay, here's the offer. Go ahead and sign it. You guys send it back to me, and then I will send it over to the sellers. And that's exactly what happened. I do not know anyone in their right mind who would sign an offer to a home and they know full well they have $50 in their account. So I believed what I saw. And again, huge red flags, but I believed what I saw. Yes, I had been to the studio apartment. Sasha, no, that actually stopped about 3 weeks after we got married.
Yes.
Okay, how does your job?
You worked in the
The
warehouse.
question, I don't talk about so for the people who don't know, I usually go live twice a day on my commutes and on my way home, but I don't talk about my job at all. So how did you guys get married? Again, it was a courthouse. How do I feel about dating now? It's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. So are you worried he will do it to another woman? Worried is not really the word I would use. I know that if he can, he will. That's his MO. Mary, I'm not, I don't mean to, and I see your question, Mary, so I'm going to address it directly. I'm doing what I can to get my ducks in a row. And that's only because I wasn't given the time to prepare before he was exposed. Does he have any rights to alimony? No, because we are completely divorced. Very close to my coworkers, one of my best friends. No, so that's another thing I want to clear up. No, he was not using his twin social. No, he simply just he just put down the wrong social. But no, he was not. There's no evidence that he was trying to take the twins' actual identity. What he was trying to do was take the lifestyle of the twin and make it his own, not the identity. Did he post me on social media when we were together? Yes, he did. Did you find out if he had any other children? So as far as when you start dating again, how do you think you will approach it? Cautiously and slowly. And the best thing that someone can do is just be like, let me just be your friend. If it grows, it grows. If it don't, because there's some PTSD.
Yeah, you got a lot of work.
I've had enough counselors to tell me you have a little bit of PTSD.
Oh, I knew that.
Have any networks reached out to you? I haven't gone through all my emails, but as far as I know, no.
Oh, I know she got PTSD.
Robbie.
Absolutely.
So again, in terms of the marriage license with the wrong social, it was not enough in the state of Georgia for me to get it annulled. Thank you, Sunshine, because I claim that in Jesus' name. Yeah, it was not enough to get it annulled in this state. Did your family or friends ever have any suspicions? Yes.
But she ignored
and I really didn't want to hear it. So
yeah,
I didn't tell them what would have even brought more suspicions because I didn't want to hear it. So
she was hiding it.
Again, just being honest. That's one of the things. I don't feel as though it glitched at the children's question. I don't know how to save the live. So if I figure out how to do it, I will, sure. No, he is not. So let me say this as well. He has not tried to reach out to me at all, and he should not. He should not, and no one should reach out to me on his behalf. So, okay, if it automatically saves, then yes. Did he have kids? No. No evidence that there's kids. Nope, he never played football. Who was the other wife on the obituary? I think you're talking about the first wife. I never did more research into her. All I needed to know was that she existed and that there was a marriage. And so once I found that out, I kind of let that go. Do you think he believed the lies he told?
Yes.
Yes. To
Hell
a certain
yeah,
extent.
he
Yeah.
did.
Like, I think he knew he was lying,
Hell
but I
yeah,
think
he
he thought
did.
he was smart enough to where no one is going to figure it out. That's what I think. He thought he was smarter than everyone. And I said this to say, him getting that knee injury, which again, I don't know what that was, but the knee injury and him being in the bed kind of sick was a slight blessing in disguise. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Tell us why.
Because he was the type of person, he really was a huge distraction. He talked a lot, bragged a lot. It wasn't until he basically spent most of the time sleep in the bed that I was able to do research and kind of have a clear mind on what is the game plan? What questions do I need to answer? So in some ways, when he got sick is when I was able to find out a lot of stuff because he wasn't in my ear all the time talking and lying. I don't know if he has schizophrenia. I have no idea. Slim, no, I never found out who she is. I tried to contact the twin in Nashville in regards to the photo album, and the twin never responded. And so eventually, through a series of events, I ended up sending it to the older brother in Philly. How has your life changed since telling your story? I see the good side of telling the story, and I see the bad side of telling the story. Again, the social media, my goal is that I hope it helped someone. The bad side is, yes, I have seen the TikTok videos, the lives, the posts, the stitches of, my God, she is dumb. And people just tearing me apart. And last night, I definitely kind of went through the rabbit hole a bit. That gave me a lot of anxiety in terms of just the way people didn't even watch the series, but they're making videos about me, or the way that people didn't watch the series and yet they found him and sent him out all over the world, not realizing there might be some backlash behind that. So I've seen the good and the bad. That's all I can say.
What
Asking
you
about
mean
his
backlash?
thank you to the person that wrote that about, I did address as much as I could in the video. Thank you. I appreciate you watching. Did you love him at all? I think I loved more the idea of what it could have been.
See?
I think I loved more the idea of what it could have been.
I be knowing what I'm talking about. I be knowing what I'm talking about.
That's just the most honest, vulnerable answer I can give you.
You damn right.
Ooh, whew. Have I forgiven myself? No. You probably can tell in the videos now. Do you regret telling the story? As of right now, no, I don't regret it. I just don't want it to explode in a negative way. That's all. What stopped 3 weeks after marriage intimacy? Do you want to leave ATL? Oh, I would, just for, if nothing else, to get rid of the traffic. Did I go to therapy? Yes. I didn't really like the therapist, so I'm going to go back. Do you think you can oh, Jesus. Oh, God, these are moving too fast. I can tell it will take, it's going to take time. Gemini, I don't know which way you mean. If you're talking about just side by side, yes. But if you're talking about the other way, no. May, to answer your question, May, it was more of the possibility of this might be my turn. That's what I fell in love with.
See?
And I really, truly thought that he loved me until I realized after the divorce, after everything was said and done, he did not love me.
Neither did you. You didn't love you.
What did your day-to-day look like after we both got off work? During the week, typically it was whoever got home first cooked dinner. So if I got home first, I cooked dinner. If he got home first, he cooked dinner. He couldn't really cook that well and didn't know how to season food, but that's fine. I was more appreciative of the effort. But the deal was whoever cooked, the other person cleaned. So if I got home after him and he cooked dinner, I cleaned the dishes and he would sit at the dinner table talking to me. So we had lots of conversations, but all the conversations turned out to be a lie. No, I gave him the nickname Legion. So not Legend. Wait, did he give himself the nickname Legend? Are you asking about Legend or Legion?
Legion. They just probably don't know how to.
I just need to clarify.
Keep going.
Two brothers. Oh, how do you feel about all this attention? Goody, I will be honest with you, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. Thank you, Frankie. No, he's not reached out. He should not reach out. Yes, I trusted him to cook for me. So, have you dated or been in a relationship after him? No, I have not.
You don't need
yes,
to.
Valerie Massey. Yeah, to answer your question, it stopped about 2 to 3 weeks after marriage.
You need to continue with therapy.
Did you guys elope? No, this was COVID. We just went to the courthouse. So the nickname Legion, obviously that is not his name. I call him Legion. I started calling him Legion after I found out all the lies that I could find. And it's from a story in the Bible where they're talking about the number of demons, and that's how I felt. And again, I've been honest, even if it don't make me look good. So I understand if people are offended that I call him Legion, but I didn't know any other nickname to call the creature that I married, because again, everything was a lie. I don't know if people quite understand. Every single thing was a lie. So
we understand.
Was he really talking to himself on the phone? Yes. There was no, so this is what the story is versus what's real. The people that he's saying he's on the phone with, they either don't exist. Scott, his friend Scott, did not exist. Shantae does not exist. Or these are people he has not spoken to in years, like the brother or the best friend. And again, I talk about how these are people who I have contacted and they all verified that, no, we have not spoken to him in years. The big brother, the best friend. So when you take all that into consideration, you realize all the phone calls were fake. Here's what I can tell you guys, and I'm making this statement, you can hold me to it. If the phone call was not on speakerphone, it's not a real phone call.
Wow.
I am confident to say that.
Wow.
Okay. Jessica, it came from Amazon, so no, not real. Yes, Jessamine Blue, am I taking measures to secure my safety? Yes. Why did he want to get? So the thing about him that I believe, this is my theory, this is not fact or anything, but the theory I have is that he does in some ways want that family, that wife, the kids, the house. I believe, though, he knows that he himself is not going to get that, which is why he has created this fictitious world to get women. I feel as though my ex-husband has a specific MO, and his specific MO will only work with a specific woman. If you were a woman who got her head on straight, you were in a healthy self-awareness place, your self-esteem is through the roof, your confidence is through the roof, he would not have even gotten your phone number.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that, or do I need to play it over? Men like him don't want a woman to know who she is and who she is. But let's see what kind of woman he does want. Someone like her. But let's see if she defines that. Let's see.
And he knows that. So I believe that he goes after a certain type of woman. What I am saying is that I know I put myself in that category of a certain type of woman. And that's why I was able to fall for all that.
Yeah. Low self-esteem.
And what is that category? That category can be desperate. And I've heard people say a pick me. I don't know if I quite agree with the pick me, but definitely there was some desperation. And that's why I felt like if I'm going to tell this story, I'm going to own my shit. The stuff that, because he didn't do all this by himself. He lied by himself. But in order for him to have even gotten into my life is because I was in a place where I let him in. So again, just keeping it real with y'all.
And that's
please tell me do you think he will tell his side of the story? I think that he possibly would tell a side, whichever side one of the personalities wants him to say. But I can assure you he will be lying. Yes, I did change my last name back. Did you receive all of our donations yesterday? I received a lot of donations. And if you did donate, thank you. I think that's what you're talking about. So if you did donate on Cash App, thank you. But I did receive a lot, and I'm trying to do my best to reply to every single donation, just to say thank you, because sometimes that's all you can say is thank you. So, did I ever tell him about the cheating I found out? I believe you're talking about Peaches. And I don't believe I had a chance to tell him about Peaches because I was in such a rage about the whole thing with his aunt, where he said, my wife don't want me no more. She said I'd be lying to her, but I ain't never lied to her. I was in a rage. How was he when you guys first met? Was anything weird about him? Amanda, he was attentive. He said everything that a woman like me at the time wanted to hear. He was consistent. What was weird about him was that he talked about his accolades a lot. In other words, I played arena football. I had a house out in San Diego, and it wasn't too far from the water type. Like he was ecstatic that I was pregnant. Ecstatic. He had been talking about names since like the second day I found out I was pregnant. He was very happy.
Because he don't have no family.
And you can say, and what is that category? That category can be
this goes into 20 parts. 20 parts on TikTok. And before we listen to those 20 parts, I want to make sure that we hear from the ex-wife. So let me bring her up. Again, thank you to all of my nieces and nephews. I think that's the shade room showing it. Hold on. I saw something pop up. Hold on. Let me find her Instagram name, because y'all did send it to me. So let's bring her up. Here she is. Let's see if we can get the video of her. Just 1 second, y'all. Let me share the screen so we can hear. We'll hear her all together. This is the ex-wife. No, this is somebody else. This ain't her. That's what I don't like about TikTok. I want to hear from her, not from somebody else. Hold on. This is who I want to hear from. I want to hear from her.
So I'm going to address the elephant in the room because it's been brought to my attention that my ex-husband is out here in these streets disturbing individuals as he always has, and I have been brought into this. Let me first say, this chapter of my life is closed. I have moved on. It's been more than 10 years. I'm over it. I'm done. I'm good, okay? But after I say this, let's just leave it alone. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm not going to address it anymore because I have nothing to do with this. This is my past life. The book is closed, okay? So Legion, as y'all call him, is a despicable, nasty, and vile individual. I fell for the trap over 10 years ago. Yes, he was charming, and I was broken mentally, okay? Understand, self-love was not here at all for me to actually love myself enough to understand that this is not love.
Wow.
He manipulated me. He
Yeah.
loved bombed me.
Yes.
All of the, oh, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that and everything else. Yes. All of these things were said to me. Guess what? None of it happened. He's manipulative and he literally tried to ruin my life. He had family turn against me because he wanted to tell people lies about me and things of that nature. Unfortunately, he's very, very good at what he does. It took me many, many, many years to get past that. I have healed. And with the situation being brought back to me, it's like cutting me back open with a dagger because I was already healed up. The Band-Aid had been left. I've gotten married. I'm happy. Been good, right? But this man is a pathological liar. He gave up all types of promises, but to the cars and houses, just like Ressa. But guess what? None of that ever came to pass, right? So I just need for people to know that this situation was traumatic as hell for me. And then I hear about, because I've not watched any of the videos, because for what? Like, it's not my business anymore. I feel bad for anybody that he comes into contact with. And I will tell any female that sees his picture, don't ever, just let it go.
Damn.
Because he needs some serious mental help and he needs to be evaluated and be locked away.
Damn.
So that's what I will say. And as far as like me not filing for divorce, I didn't file for divorce because I was afraid for my life. I didn't want to be served. I didn't want to. In order for me to file, I would have to tell him where exactly I was, and I didn't want him to know that. So no, I absolutely was not filing because I was afraid at the time. But guess what? It was ended before it even really started.
God damn.
But at the same token, I still was very, very, very not mentally, in love with myself. So that's one of the things that really got me. So I genuinely feel empathy for the women that have been down his path. When all this stuff was going on with him and I, there was no social media, TikTok or anything like that. But at the same token, I just wanted to heal through my processes. I didn't want to sit there and have to tell the whole world my business because I'm a very private person and I don't do trauma. I will also say this. I did not hit Legion at all. I did not hit this man. He went to jail because he was impersonating a police officer, telling people that he was a detective of the police department in Atlanta, Georgia. And that is why he went to jail. Also for stalking one of the guards that were over where we lived at. That is why he went to jail. So he didn't go to jail because of we never went to court about me putting my hands on him. My son did, yes, interact with him. And my son, yes, he did put his hands on him because he threatened me for the last time. And enough was enough. As you go through life, you can either sit down and continue to take it, or you can get up and triumph and do what you need to do so that you can make your life better. And at that point, enough was enough. It's done. I was no longer going to be the victim because I'm not a victim. I'm not a doormat. You can't step on me. You can't do whatever you want to do to me and me take it. So I left. I will also say, I need people to understand this is my life we're talking about, right? So this situation is triggering, but it's triggering me because it needs to be said. But it's one of those things where I was okay with not saying it. I was good. After this conversation, after I'm done saying my piece, if anybody wants to actually, know how I healed from all of this, you're more than welcome to go, click into my link on my Ms. Missouri page on Facebook. And you're more than welcome to listen to my show tonight, because my Health, My Mind and Body radio show is literally about healing. And my show tonight is about elevating your mental. And I've been elevating my mental for years. And I'm so fucking proud of myself. You know why? Because I've done a lot of work to get past all that shit that was going on in my past. So all that, Ressa Tessa, I pray, honey, that you get the healing that you need, sweetie, because guess what? It took me time. And I pray that you get the healing that you need. And anybody else, Vivian or anybody else, I pray that you guys get the healing that you need. Because this situation is not easy. But I hope that you guys really get the healing that you need. So that way, you guys can move forward in your life, because it's possible to have a love of your life after all of this trauma. It is very possible.
Okay.
So with that being said, you guys, I really hope that, this will be on my end anyways. You guys can continue talking about it if you like, but I'm done because I'm not a victim. I got out and I moved on.
Okay.
I am not attached to this man. Don't want to be attached to this man. He's out of my life.
Okay.
Been out of my life all of these years and don't want to have anything to do with him.
Okay.
So that's just that. If anybody wants to know how I triumphed through all of this, because I have to go into obviously more details, you guys can go ahead and go onto my show, and I'll go ahead and put the link on my Facebook, and I'll also put it here on TikTok for you guys to be able to see. Other than that, I'm signing off. This is your girl, Ms. Missouri. And make sure y'all tune in tonight at My Health, My Mind and Body radio show. Ahala.
Yeah, so that was her take on it. I think it would help, if you have a radio show, just a little bit of advice. We don't need to be looking down, up at the, your teeth, the spit in your mouth and all of that. But thank you so much for your words. That was a lot. But Don't know if she made him look better or herself. I didn't think that benefited her quite the way she thought it would. But thank you for shouting out Tisa. She said that she's done with it and we won't hear anything else about it, but she will tell you all how she got killed if you go out there downtown to her Facebook page. I didn't see the benefit of her saying anything. She just validated what he said. He divorced her. Seems like there was, a little tussling going on and everything. And I don't know if that's why she has her camera down up underneath, and allowing us to see, you know what I'm saying, her mouth at a different angle, but it's best suited if your mic is just, sitting, your camera is sitting, you know what I mean? Yeah, but we want to thank you though for coming out and having your say about that and everything. Yeah, she did, if I could squeeze something out of there, she did talk about, basically what we've been talking about, your self-esteem. Make sure you build that up. Build your self-esteem up, ladies, like ladies and men, because men suffer from low self-esteem as well. It's not, in women, a woman issue, it's a human issue. We've been through a lot today. We've seen a lot, we've talked about a lot, we've done a lot, bitch. And on that note, we're going to go head on and say goodnight. Y'all, please let me know downtown in the comments section what you all think about all of this. I really would like to see your feedback. It helps us to plan for content, new content to, the channel. I want to thank Beverly, Miss Randy, distinctly Adri for joining, Miss A. Simone, Tanya Lewis, Charlotte Bain. Was it another one on here? I thought I saw somebody else. I didn't want to miss anybody. Thank you all for the super chats. I love you all so much. Y'all, thank y'all for being on this ride with me. We have done this all day today. And tomorrow I've got to get back to my regularly scheduled programming. But I do appreciate all the love and all the support that you all have given to me. The encouragement. Yeah. And again, a special shout out to Ray Della, who's been holding it down. I love you all so much. And until we meet each other again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. And if you have any, I got to say thank you. I got to say thank you. Wait a minute. Don't end the stream yet. I've got to say thank you. Let me find it. Hold on. Hold on. I cannot leave without doing this. Just 1 second. I want to say thank you so much to Risa. Risa, thank you so much for hitting me up in my email and letting me know that you wanted me to cover this show. I appreciate you so much. And if there are other things that are happening, other trending stories that are happening out there on a TikTok or on any other social media platform that you would like for me to cover, y'all, please do not hesitate to hit me up at my email address, which is aunties2cents@gmail.com, or hit me up in my DMs on Instagram. Other trending stories that you all think would be interesting and give us an opportunity to teach or to give guidance or to inspire. Thank you so much, Ray Della. Let me put that up right here. You all have any other subject matters or any other topics, again, thank you so much, Reese. I don't want to give your last name, but thank you so much for hitting me up. And I also, get a whole lot of my stuff from Miss Key too. Key be dropping the T. Okay, Key with the T. So I love you all so much. Again, thank you all so much for being here. Until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Good night, y'all.